Hey, how y'all doing?
So sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I want to stop by saying
busy, surely.
it is. The biggest battle I had is, do I come chat with you guys while I'm completely cooked, or you know, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a very busy day, nonstop. I think I've been standing in the same place for like 5 hours, conversation after conversation. But I wanted to make sure that we had ample opportunity to give you guys a chance to ask your questions, and get to know what our platform is all about. One thing I do want to start with is I'm incredibly honest, and you know, sometimes that honesty may not ring well, but I want you to consider, do you want to get smoke blown up your ass, or you know, hear it straight. You know what I mean? So
I got a question. I'm not a lifer, but I got a question.
yeah, what's up?
Is this a mayor thing? Is this a politics thing?
Yes.
Did the politician just tell us that he tells the truth all the time? Yeah, man, cool. Thanks, bro. You're gonna have to prove that.
All right. Can we get the brain damage individual onto the other side of this gate before we continue?
Yeah, guys, vote for this guy.
Yeah.
For sure, vote for this guy.
No, I mean, actually.
He said he was honest, so like.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Go on.
Actually, that's a good point. He is honest. Maybe do vote for him.
No. And when I said fuck off, this conversation's going to continue once he's gone.
Okay, hey, you guys continue this conversation. Just remember that, all right?
All right.
Remember that when you're voting for this dumbass.
Yeah.
All right, off to a good start.
Have a good one, pussy.
Hey, good marketing, brother. You're really good at this.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy more of that. Whatever you're doing in there.
Yeah. Good luck on your mayoral run.
Yep.
So why doesn't that guy like you?
Well, I just tore his ego apart.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Can inmates vote?
I'm sorry?
In this state, can inmates vote?
I don't believe so. I don't think y'all well, inmates can, but lifers, I don't think you can, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your opinion doesn't matter, right?
They voted for the last one, but they got bussed out when they had DOC down to the courthouse. We've been told there might be a voting booth here.
That is... Look, I don't... How do I put this? That is completely outside of my control.
That was just the rumor mill, you know?
Yeah, I mean, aren't you, okay, this is one of those, aren't there, like, unlimited lifers? Like, aren't there, like, a lot of you?
No, there's like 12 of us.
Oh!
At a time. Core members, yeah, 12 at a time. Core members who, like, actually wake up, really not that many, maybe 20-something.
Okay. I imagine that's something the feds got to figure out, like, because, you know, a lot of people that might, never mind. Let's just assume you do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get it, but it's hard to wake up in the yard when, you know, the regulars wake up. You feel me?
Yeah, that makes sense. I got you.
When the core group's around, it's hard for new transfers to come on in and fuck things up.
Are there like categorizations of some of y'all versus others?
No, I don't think so.
Fresh meat, been here for a minute.
I got you.
Just say.
Well, so who wants to start first?
I have a concern.
All right.
If you become mayor, what are you going to do about this dilapidated building?
So the entire Bolingbroke is under the helm of the state. So I would have zero say.
Are you sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
It is a state penitentiary, so.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
In the event,
I've seen the sign over there.
Yep.
I saw it when they bussed me in.
So, I'm not sure if you're aware yet, but as of this coming election, there's going to be a mayor for Polito and a mayor for Los Santos. And I believe that this state penitentiary is going to be under the helm of the state. Now, that isn't to say that the mayor of Los Santos and the mayor of Paleto would not have any sway into what happens here, or that there would not be any, you know, Los Santos and Bolingbrook cooperation, or Paleto and Bolingbrook, you know, cooperation, but it would not be, like, Bolingbrook would not be under my direct purview, but there would reasonably be indirect purview, right? So in other words, people caught up in Los Santos are going to end up in there. There might be some business arrangements between, like, the state-run Bolingbrook and Los Santos, you know, county.
CJ, would you be able? Are these your aides?
They're part of my cabinet. This is Abby. She's a lawyer, and that is my campaign manager.
I forgot my name, but it's Archie Archer.
CJ, would you be able to give Abby a copy of the proposal?
Yeah, I can probably do that.
Oh, I think here comes
Look,
Scotty
it's
now.
my favorite person in the entire world.
So, anyways, you know, obviously a lot of people in here hopeful that one day, eventually, maybe be able to get out of here. So, I mean, just like, what's your whole spiel? What are your selling points? You know, run us through the whole thing.
Yeah. So
give us the details of the campaign.
Yeah.
The inmates and laughers can vote. What could you do for us?
Did you get a nap time?
I don't really care what you can do for us. I just want to hear the whole, you know.
Yeah,
what are your things, you know?
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to try to make you guys believe that I could do anything for you in there. Realistically, I think if you had any candidates come down here and say they can do something for you, that's literally what I mean by blowing smoke up your ass. I do not genuinely think that any one of the mayors has any direct ability to give any life or anything, and that's strictly due to the jurisdiction lines. But to your point, what on the outside. So I don't know if you guys have access to a computer system, but we got a website up, votenino.com. So if anything that we discuss here today, you want to go into detail or whatever, everything's like sort of outlined there. It allows our campaign to be like very transparent, and not to mention you can kind of go back in case we talked about something and you're like, oh man, he mentioned these things, but what is it exactly? You can kind of reference that. But the way we see it is as follows. I'm not a huge fan of the previous council. I don't know if you've seen the legislation that's in place, but most of it is pretty dog shit. Barely affects individuals in terms of granting them more civil liberties, granting them protections. It's mostly like, if you were to categorize it all, it's a lot of do not do, do not do, do not do, and not a lot of like clarity as to where illegality starts and where innocence begins. Three main things we want to bring forward is, number one, we want transparency in all legislation. I don't think anyone should have to wait to see what the government's working on. Anytime there's legislation that's been proposed, it needs to be publicly available so discourse can start. Holes can be pointed out, so that by the time it comes to voting by the mayor's office, or needs to be enacted, things are ironed out. In the past, the way that things have historically worked, from my understanding, is you'd have one jerk off write something for 3 hours, and then the question would be, how does this help us? Not how does it help the people? Does it give them more protections? Does it make sense? Is it practical? Is it draconian? And we want to eliminate that by bringing out that transparency. The next thing is, at least in Los Santos proper, this is another thing you may not be aware. These are recent announcements by the DOJ. I don't know if you saw one, you know, it pop up in the state announcement, but the mayor's office is going to have direct control over what gets passed. Obviously, the DOJ is going to have to sign off on it, but and we don't know what the barrier is for them. But let's say a new piece of legislation lands, I could literally just sign that shit, and it's in legislation. I don't want that. I think one of the responsibilities for the mayor is to make sure that by the time he's out of office and the next mayor comes in, that there is a framework in place that keeps democracy alive. And
not having to start all over.
Precisely. It's already in the fucking shitter. I want you to put things into perspective. We had the mayor become the chief of the commissioner of the police department and also pass unchecked laws. That is not a democracy. That is literally the definition of a fascist government. That is not in the best interest of the people, unless you are a direct beneficiary of his regime. Which means if you're not in that regime, you're the one getting fucked or milked or whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to be doing is very early on, we actually want an internal Los Santos selection process for 6 select men or women. The top 3 are going to be representatives for any legislation that comes to the table. It's going to be staged out. The first stage, and people are going to be able to vote for it, right? In the first stage, they're going to only be there as like an opinion, right? We have a meeting. Here are the 5 pieces of legislation. Let's talk about it. Any concerns? Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to vote on it, right? Or not even vote. I'm going to pass it or say it needs work. Once we've proven that there's enough responsibility by said 6 selectmen. Now, I mentioned 3 and 6. There's 3 main ones and the 3 deputies in order of highest number of votes. Once we've proven, so think of it as like 3 primary and 3 backup, right? They still got to attend. Otherwise, they're out. One of them, let's say a main selectman ends up like disappearing into the wilderness. You get rid of him, now you got 5 in the top 3. Now the main ones. Once that framework is established and it's proved to be working, like these guys are showing up, their attendance is good, we're then going to move this stage 2 where they're actually going to have voting power. So now there's going to be 3 votes from representatives, right, of the people, and 2 votes from the popular mayor. So you're getting 2 popular votes and 3 representative votes. So regardless of whether, you know, you voted for the mayor or not, your voice doesn't disappear. You can still vote in that, you know, a representative that brings your problems to the table. This allows, like, the police department, for example, to push out a representative. It allows maybe the lifers, depending on how things get chopped up. We're not going to know till Wednesday anyways.
It does sound, the way you're talking, it does sound like you're going to have representatives for municipalities.
That's kind of what it is. That's sort of what it is. The municipality, there's no way to distinct that. So it's going to be more based on the 3 most voted on representatives become the selectmen. And indirectly, those 3 would represent the 3 biggest constituencies. So
would these be like runner-ups in this current election, or is this all going to be a separate vote?
Separate. This is going to be Los Santos specific. And this is my way of saying that no, there should be no popular vote gets to determine the next 3 months. Is that democracy, that representation needs to continue on.
All right, I got something that I'd like to ask.
Mm-hmm.
In your own words, can you describe your opponents in this race?
Oswaldo is promising everyone everything they want, and he's gonna fuck everyone in the ass by not being able to deliver anything. He's the only opponent. The rest are too scared to go against me, so they're going in Polito. And that's just me being honest. You know what I mean? We have a lot of big backing, and I think that's mostly not a side effect of me personally, but mostly our team. And we have a lot of passion and interest to make sure that we can recover from the last 7 months and set ourselves up for a place for future people, like for the Oswaldos, for the Preds, for the other mayors to actually have a seat in a stable foundation.
What's your response to I've heard some people saying that you're only out for the people that have businesses and you really don't care about the little people. What's your response to that?
The little people are what makes up. Hello? Sorry, 1 second.
Hi, this is your 15-minute fake phone call.
Okay.
It's serious. You gotta get over here. Oh my god.
Okay. I'll be down in Mission Row shortly.
Hurry.
Bye. I think that those individuals are pussies. And I've held 2 rallies today with a lot of people, and none of them have the balls to walk up to the microphone and actually present those allegations because they're unfounded. I've heard things like, I work for Chang Gang, I work for the criminals, I'm gonna fuck over the PD, the small guy, this guy. It's just a bunch of horse shit. Because at the end of the day, right, if you can't take on the giant, you got to throw pebbles at it, right? See what sticks. If I wasn't in it for the whole, I wouldn't be 12 hours deep yapping to different parties all day, you know?
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about lifers getting rights?
I think lifers could use a categorizations. I think there's gonna be, look, I don't know enough about you guys. I really don't. So I don't want to be too strong here in my messaging, because I don't want to speak out of line or out of ignorance.
We're talking about basic rights. I'll tell you that we're talking about basic rights.
Just to not be unarmed and gunned down by cops from the outside,
also,
and then told they don't care because you don't have any rights.
The shower door is being locked. The last time we called to have it unlocked.
The what is?
Was door with life. The door to the showers.
Oh, the showers. Yeah.
The last time I believe one of the ladies called to have the door open, the officer who replied to the call said, "Well, lifers that don't have no rights, so we'll be worrying about that."
So you do have rights. I think anyone who tells you that you don't have any rights are well, to choose my words carefully, pretty brain dead.
Slaves.
What?
We have been referred to as slaves, and that's the category in the law that we fall under.
Yeah. So
According to Bobby Charles.
well, Bobby Charles is
just
brain
Bobby.
damaged himself. So
It's not just Bobby.
here's the thing. You have to understand that some people that take on the mantle of any form of authority only know how to abuse it, right? Maybe they got bullied as a kid, right? They couldn't make it through school or whatever. They weren't able to find any opportunities, and maybe the police department or the Department of Corrections took them in and gave them a little bit of authority. So now they're taking all the rage that they've experienced over the many, many years and are using it to not do good, but instead oppress those to make them, feel better about themselves. There is a real problem in Los Santos, and this extends to anyone with authority to, cure their depression by spreading depression. I don't take kindly to that. Regardless of whether you're a lifer or a random person on the street, or even a cop that's just being abused. I'm like a fucking lion right? I see like a cub or whatever getting like unfairly treated, I will fucking jump on that predator and I will sink my fucking teeth so deep into their neck that they won't know what the fuck to do. Because I will make anybody, I will fucking make anybody feel like a little piece of shit if necessary, you know? So if there are people like that that are treating you like it, let me know who they are, and I'll make them sure they get undressed publicly so the entire fucking city knows.
PD.
Denzel Shiesty is probably one of the worst police officers in this police force, and the only reason that he is even employed right now is because people are afraid to get rid of him. But this is where the important bit comes into play is, you know, just as the PD says, oh, Chengang, or like, oh, the Cypress, or this, I think it's also important that we don't just say, oh, the police department or LSPD, but I want names, you know, because then they can see how it feels like to be targeted. And trust me, they don't last very long.
I got you. It was Bones and that Pitbull sounding motherfucker.
Sheriff Bones?
Yeah, he was here. Literally, they came in. There was a big situation, and certain people may or may not have been unarmed and were completely just obliterated, gunned down. And the cops... Yeah, I was just chilling. And the cops' response to my being upset about having been unjustly shot was, you're a lifer. We don't care. You don't have rights.
Okay.
And it was the guy who sounds like Pitbull, and it was fucking Sheriff Bones. It was basically every cop who... There was like 30 of them, but they was all the same response. Which, you know, to an extent, I guess they have a point, but still, no one wants to hear, we don't care, you know?
That's kind of disheartening because right? Bones has been rather good. I think he just needs to get slapped across the face and be reminded that you work for the people and that they are humans, and that if he cannot distinguish between life and whatnot, then he should not, you know, be surprised when he is gunned down by the people on the outside. And maybe he needs to be reminded of that when his own police department is wiped and he gets a response of, why should I care? Do you see how you're treating the people within Bolingbrook? I think there's a much higher level of, look, this goes beyond like just,
Goes beyond the mayor's office.
It does. Yeah. I think a lot of people in Los Santos seems to have forgotten what it means to like, and I'm not trying to say anything strange here, but what it means to like value life, right? And that includes like a tow driver that fucking decimates somebody and is like, eh. Or like an ambulance, a lieutenant of an ambulance that goes and destroys someone in the middle of the road and is like, eh, they'll be okay. Or like a gang that might just fucking shoot the fuck out of someone and be like, ah, you know what? Whatever. You know what I mean? Worth it. And especially a police department that's willing to gun down whoever and be like, well, you know what? They deserved it, right? That's not right. It diminishes sanctity of life for everybody, and everyone plays a role in that. I think some people just got to be reminded, it's specifically those that have been given authority. Ma'am?
So are we going to be able to vote?
That
I don't think anyone's gonna
Abby,
know
go
that
ahead.
really.
I had a thought on this. There's only one way to find out. You have the DOC take a few of you down there to vote, because there's no specific legislation prohibiting you from voting, and on the mayoral announcement,
we're not gonna have DOC until after the elections.
We already got told it's after.
It's a TB. I think some things are still in the works from a conversation. The reason why we were so late is we were talking to the people that you know, one of the guys that's working on the stuff. So I don't think there's a decision yet. I think it'd be great for you guys to vote, but I don't know of the limitations of how many people they can let out of the cells and all that. Yes.
Yeah, that's
To put it in another way, maybe all my really good lifer friends might start showing up and voting for me, and that's that could be a lot of votes.
Yep. That's why I think it should be like maybe either DOC, like if DOC comes, or even cops can like shackle up.
All of chat starts waking up on their lifers.
Take them down a little bit at a time.
I mean,
Yeah.
they voted on the last one though, you know.
Well,
I feel like
Borg did.
somebody will have their eyes on situations like that, hopefully.
My something that I was gonna say previously was that I think that my opinion, I wouldn't have the power to make this call, is based on my understanding of what you guys do in there, that hopefully down the line you'll start to see, hopefully, right, pie in the sky, I can try to advocate for it, is some of y'all, based on your behavior, and start to get a little bit of can be distinguished a little bit more than some that may not show their presence too much on the outside the cells.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully over time, those extra privileges, right, may extend to voting. Those extra privileges may eventually lead to, you know, y'all speaking to the warden and maybe be able to get out. Very, very transparently, I don't have any direct say in this, but that doesn't mean I can't advocate, right?
Very true. I like
what
it.
you are saying is that if you were elected mayor, you wouldn't discount things that lifers had to say.
No, I don't think I discount. No, I think even if someone lived in Polito and I'm the mayor of Los Santos, I'm not going to close my door on them, right? Because those might be future residents, right? So
I appreciate that.
I don't think there's been a single phone call that we have dismissed, unless it's been like in the middle of a conversation, or they're just being trolly and it's a waste of my time, right? When it could be spent talking to someone who's like got real questions.
I passed along a proposal to your lawyer earlier in this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was wondering, if you became mayor, is that something that you could sign off on, or at least pass it to the people that could sign off on it?
The latter, for sure. Where it would get to, that I definitely could not guarantee.
I don't think anybody can guarantee that, but
yeah,
it's nice to know that our voice can be heard.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter who you are. I think everyone deserves a voice, and you guys have been very cordial. And I appreciate you meeting like in kind of a group and staying awake. I know I keep putting you off. It has not been intentional. It's been very difficult for us to figure out like how to schedule the meets, because, you know, we got a bunch of people lined up, right? And then it's like, you never know how long it's going to last, or like in my case, like at what point my brain starts like slowly shutting off, because, you know, some of the, from my perspective, right, I'm kind of repeating myself to different groups over and over. You start to lose your mind after a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Say the same shit over and over and over again.
I just want to say,
sameness in here every day, so.
Yep.
Real quick, I took a look at your proposal as well. Very well structured. Very well structured.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was surprised he could write.
No.
I was gonna say, didn't CJ do that for you?
It was not on me.
No, like
She did.
it's not only that
damn near
it's
everything.
written well. I mean, like for me, like that's how I would want to read a proposal. You know what I mean? Not all that fancy bullshit.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right.
So if you can't help to push that proposal forward, can you get that proposal to people who could?
The latter, 100%.
All right.
Which means he can get it to people that can't.
I'll be honest, dude. Just like Osvaldo, you know, people always come up here and tell us, hey, you know, people are gonna come up, you know, you guys are lifers. They just want things from you, blah blah blah, this, that, the other. Like everyone's just gonna tell you what you want to hear. Osvaldo was basically on the same page as you. Is like, I can tell you what I can do and what I can't do. You know.
Yeah.
And we respect that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I came in a little late in this. I don't know if you answered or if anybody asked it, but what's your opinion on Justice Bailey?
He's very
Great
good.
Question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Candace.
He's very good.
I know. I was trying to call.
He's pretty blunt.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I think you're going to be in good hands.
Okay.
That was an excellent question.
Yeah, I think he wants to see this place prosper, which I think is very important. The past administration, if you're not aware, removed Carmine and Bobby, which regardless of whether you felt like you liked him or didn't like him, but they fired him, quote unquote, and legislation actually underlined them still being wardens up until I called it out last week.
I was the one that called you about that.
Oh, you did? Yeah. It was pretty bad, and I was you know, it's not that they took, whether or not they took action back then, it's that's how irresponsible the past administration was, is that they, you know, would take the easy route and then not finish their homework, right? And which to me speaks volumes of how much they really gave a shit about the DLC. But the worst thing about it is that this is how they sort of treated everything, right? You know,
seems like they just did everything by word of mouth and not in writing, which was just very odd.
Yeah.
Very odd to see.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. We'll say that our administration has been pushing a lot of legislation forward. We're actually like trying to get, Abby especially has been pumping out legislation just so we're prepared to get the ground running. And as you'll see in the website, right, we put a lot of thought into this. We're trying to build for the tomorrow. You know, regardless of what happens, you know, we're prepared and ready to go.
All right, I like it.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, I got to get going. I got a client down in the cells that needs my representation. So if you
don't
have any questions, look, we've still got like a good week, 2 weeks, right? So if we want to do another meet, we can try to do so, and hopefully we get better. We got better on our side with scheduling, so you know we don't cause you guys to stay awake for an endless amount of time waiting for me.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for thanks for
I have
coming.
some extra like drinks and stuff from the event earlier. Mind if I throw it over, guys? You want?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here?
Don't give him the fat boy, please.
Oh God.
Also, Candace
I'm
has my
gonna
number.
warm up.
Feel free to pass that around and
running out.
contact me if you want to converse about anything. And I'll keep you updated on the proposal situation.
All right,
Thanks
thank
again,
you.
guys. Thanks for
Yep.
Be a
showing
fucking
You too.
solar eclipse later with him around.
And then I got some
How's it
others.
going,
Hold
guys?
on. There you go.